Ladies and gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. So, they dropped the trailer for the Best Man limited series that's going to be on Peacock. Now, looking at the trailer looks interesting for the series and it's got my attention. But some people was not too happy to hear about a series instead of a movie because the way that the second film ended was that everybody wanted to know what was going to happen with Quentin Terrence Howard character because he was going to get he was telling the people that telling his friends that he was going to get married and all these things, so everybody was curious to see how this was going to pan out and wanted to see the third film. We have been waiting to see this film for a couple of years now, and unfortunately we're not going to get that film. Instead, we're going to get a series that's going to be on Peacock. Now, me, I'm gonna admit, I like the Best Man film franchise. I like the films. The first one I enjoyed it. The second one I really enjoyed it. So I was one of the people that was waiting to see the third film. Now that it's not going to be a film, I ain't gonna lie, I'm upset about it because I want to see what's happening. But they're gonna decide to turn it into a series, so that's even better because now it's gonna be that film is gonna be chopped up into 8 episodes, and I'm curious to see how they're gonna take that script, chop it up to 8 episodes to bring that content and that great feeling to there. But the question that people want to know is that the same vibe that we got from the film, is it going to be that same vibe in the series? You know, but the reason why we did not get the film, which a lot of people wanted to know, like, okay, why didn't we get the film? Is in an article in the New York Times, according to Malcolm Lee, the writer and director of the film franchise, it says that Lee said that he had been brewing up next phase ideas for the gang ever since Holiday proved to be a hit. And he even wrote a draft of the script. But a third movie never happened because of the actors' conflicting schedules and his stalled budget negotiations with Universal Pictures, which distributed the first two films after Lee signed a development deal in 2018 with the production studio Universal Television. The studio is like Peacock, part of the NBC Universal. He began to rework the sequel concepts as a limited series. So, after hearing that, it definitely raises curiosity because this is a film franchise that proved to be a hit. The films didn't cost a lot of money to make, but they made money. And you decide to say, I'm not going to do a third film. The studio decided to not do a third film because they stalled. So pretty much they say like they stalled and negotiate. Pretty much the studio didn't want to do a third film. That's what that all comes down to. And I think that them not doing a third film for this was all to get more subscribers and to get more content to go on Peacock. That's what I believe. Because to me, it makes no sense. Why would you take a film franchise that's proven to be success and just say, "Oh, you know what? Um, yeah, we like the script, but we still don't know if we want to go through with it. We'll let you know. We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you." And then turn around and say, "Hey, you know what? We're not going to give you the money to do a film, but instead, let's throw it on a streaming service." You know, now this could prove to be a good move, even though everybody was anticipating and hyped up to see the third film to see how this was going to end the franchise. But instead, to say, let's chop it up and take up 8 episodes. Now, I'm not throwing any salt on them to say that the series is not going to be good because looking at the trailer, it definitely looks interesting. And to see how everything is going to pan out with some of the people, because we know in the Best Man Holiday, Mia, who was Lance's wife, she died. So what happened with Lance and his kids and stuff? Did Lance find a new girl? Is he just still trying to deal with losing his wife? We saw the situation where Harper was writing a book on Lance. That came out. What was the situation with that? Um, Also with Quentin saying that he was gonna get married. Who did he get married to? What happened to the wedding? So the second film left a lot of unanswered questions for us, but also it left us on the edge of our seats because it was questions that we wanted to get answers to. But now we're going to get those answers to the questions in this series. The next thing is that how is Peacock and Malcolm Lee, how are they going to do this series? Are they going to say, okay, we're going to give you guys all 8 episodes at once? Or are we going to chop it up to say, okay, once a week, we're going to give you a new episode? Now, that's my curiosity. Now, some people may say, hey, just give us all 8 episodes at once. They could do that. Or they may say, do it once a week. Now, in my opinion, I would just say do it once a week because you definitely want to keep the anticipation and the hype there. Because if you just give us all 8 episodes at once, people will watch it and then be like, that'd be the end of it. But in my opinion, do it this way because once a week, it definitely gets people talking about it. It definitely creates the buzz. And then for people who probably don't have Peacock, it's going to get people to go to Peacock and get subscriptions for Peacock to watch it. Pretty much the same thing that happened with Stranger Things and Power and all these other great shows that came out. You know, they started the buzz, they started the trend, and then it started to generate the audience. Which in this case, the Best Man franchise has a huge female fan base. I mean, men watch it too, but the numbers for African American women, for Black women who watch this franchise, is huge. You know, Black women definitely love this series. And I know some of them was upset that they was not getting a film, but hey, just in time for the holidays, they can sit around here and watch it with their friends, you know, or with their family. This is something that I think is a good idea. I don't like the way that NBC Universal played Malcolm Lee with this. I felt like they should have just went on ahead and did the movie, but I guess they figuring like, hey, you know what? We don't want to do that. But it was all still a plan to get more people to go to the streaming service. So that's my opinion why The Best Man didn't get a third film because the distributor, Universal Studios, said, hey, we want to build up our streaming service. And to give NBC a little bit of credit is that the Peacock network has been doing some things over there and been raising some eyebrows. They got a couple of good shows over there. One of them being the Bel Air spinoff series for Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They also had the Halloween films franchises that's been on the streaming network, which I didn't too much care for that. But they've got a lot of other different programs over there that I heard people talking about that they like. So Peacock is definitely trying to make some moves to make themselves stand out and be a force in the streaming service. You know, and that's for with any streaming service. In order for you to stand out, you got to have good content. So we already seen what's going on with a lot of these film franchises. That what they're doing is that instead of going to the theaters, they're going to streaming services. But but I would still say you want to put some content in the theaters because if you look and see what's going on in the film industry, people are going back to the theaters to watch movies because you've seen that with some of these films that's been big for hits, from Top Gun to Black Panther to Avatar to Violent Night. So a lot of these films that have been going to the theaters have seen success. So overall, I'm gonna check out this series because I'm a fan of the franchise. I'm rooting for these guys that the series is gonna be good. I know it's gonna be good. That's just my take on it. But you all let me know how y'all feel about this. That the best man is not getting a third film. Instead, they're gonna do a limited series on Peacock. Let me know your thoughts about this and check out my next video.